It is pretty much official this morning. President Obama waking up victorious, winning another term in office.
Yes, let's take a quick look at the numbers right now. These are the latest numbers. As you can see, Barack Obama has the vote by 50% to Romney's 49%. Basically, Barack Obama rode a wave of broad supporters from minorities, women's, and Democrats to win the re-election yesterday.
And now, as we said, he's headed back to the White House for 4 more years. Gad Shaban is with the president in Chicago with more.
We have.
The president's family joined him on stage to celebrate 4 more years in the White House.
You voted for action, not politics as usual. You elected us to focus on your jobs, not ours.
The president won almost all of the battleground states, giving him a decisive electoral college victory.
Whether I earned your vote or not, I have listened to you. I have learned from you. And you've made me a better president.
Governor Romney congratulated the president. The Republican challenger says he gave everything he had to this campaign.
I so wish that I had been able to fulfill your hopes to lead the country in a different direction, but the nation chose another leader, and so Ann and I join with you to earnestly pray for him and for this great nation.
With the votes counted, the 2 candidates who clashed on so many issues found common ground.
At a time like this, we can't risk partisan bickering and political posturing. Our leaders have to reach across the aisle to do the people's work.
I am looking forward to reaching out and working with leaders of both parties to meet the challenges we can only solve together.
And the president said he believes the country can come together.
Despite all the hardship we've been through, despite all the frustrations of Washington, I've never been more hopeful about our future.
President Obama returns to the White House this afternoon. Gad Shaban, CBS News, Chicago.
And President Obama is certainly going to have his work cut out for him. He's dealing with the same Congress that he clashed with for the last 2 years. Democrats still in control of the Senate, and Republicans still have a majority in the House.
That's right. And the GOP was hoping to get control of the Senate, but lost big races in Massachusetts, Missouri, Indiana, and Connecticut.
And as expected, here in New Mexico, Obama took the state pretty easily, 53 to 43%. Now, as you know, elections are never really without glitches, but many in Rio Rancho are no doubt still pretty steamed about some extremely long lines to vote. I mean, it looked like a scene out of Florida or Ohio yesterday.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. In fact, people didn't get to vote until this morning, like 12 a.m. this morning, literally after midnight. So as you can imagine, today there will be a lot of questions about how this happened. Our News 15's David Romero is following what happened. He is live in our election center headquarters. David, how long did some of these voters have to wait?
Well, Elizabeth, in some of those spots, it was as much as 4 hours. Now, the sun was out when some of those people got to the polls in that area. And, of course, they hadn't moved much by the time the sun had gone down. Now, the question by many this morning remains, how could Rio Rancho, which is the state's 3rd largest city, be left with only 5 polling spots to serve voters living there? Now, you can see in this video from Sky Ranger just how long the line was at one of the elementary schools in Rio Rancho. Some discouraged voters simply walked away or tried one of the other 4 spots throughout the city. Now, for people who were in line prior to the 7 p.m. close of the polls, they still got to vote only many hours later. Governor Susana Martinez herself even stopped by to pass out water and food to voters in the hopes of keeping them from leaving.
I had family and friends that were texting me saying, just stick it out, stay there, and you know, it's your duty, and I felt strong that I needed to stay.
And of course, one more thing that many will try to make sense out of this morning is how Rio Rancho had about the same number of polling spots as Bernalillo, that's about 5. And of course, Rio Rancho's population is 10 times bigger than that of the town of Bernalillo. Back to you guys.
Okay, David, thank you. And you can bet this morning that we will be checking on that, and we will work to get you those answers. Matt.
Another election news this morning. New Mexico has a new U.S. Senator-elect. It's Congressman Martin Heinrich. He is set to replace Senator Jeff Bigman, who's retiring after serving 5 terms. This race is a lot closer than most people thought it was going to be, with Mr. Heinrich beating Heather Wilson 51 to 45.
And Martin Heinrich promised that he would always put New Mexico first. He has earned the opportunity to keep that promise, and we should all wish him well in that effort.
That's Heather Wilson there. In fact, she used to be in the U.S. House, too. She resigned to run for the Senate back in 2008. In this race, she had an uphill fight from the start. She cut into that, but unfortunately, it was just not enough for her. All right, in other election news this morning, in fact, it's one thing you should know. This is by far the most expensive race in New Mexico, with the candidates spending more than $12 million on their campaigns. And as expected, a Democrat will replace the new outgoing congressman's Albuquerque U.S. House seat. Take a look at this. We see that Michelle Lujan Grisham won 59 to 41%. In fact, it was just 4 years ago that Michelle Lujan Grisham finished third in the primary for the U.S. House. But you know the saying, if you don't succeed at first, try again. Now Lujan Grisham is headed to Washington. She beat her Republican opponent, Janice Arnold Jones, there, as you saw, 59%. To replace Martin Heinrich. Lujan Grisham had been on the Bernalillo County Commission and was a state health secretary. In fact, she spent much of the night dancing and celebrating. She says in Congress she'll work to get the armed. There she goes. In Congress, she wants to get on the Armed Services Committee with oversight, to have oversight on the bases and labs here in New Mexico. She also wants to focus on women's health and reaching across the aisle to get bills passed.
You know, one of the highlights for me is going to be to do homeowner protection legislation, much more consumer protection to try to stall and stop many of these foreclosures and to give families a fighting chance.
Ms. Lujan Grisham talked about her father during her acceptance speech. He asked her to run for Congress, was the first to contribute to her campaign, but sadly he died before he could see her get elected. And her challenger, Janice Arnold Jones, knew that this race was definitely going to be a tough one. She says that Ms. Lujan Grisham raised more money and had more name recognition because of the primary in June. Arnold Jones choked up talking about her supporters last night. And here's how she responded when we asked her if she'd run for office again.
You know, it's really hard on families. My family has supported me for 8 years in the legislature. I did run for governor, and I have run for this. And, you know, they might like to do something different, but I will talk with them because they know that I am passionate, and they've always been there.
After she lost the race last night, Ms. Arnold Jones did not talk to the crowd at the Republican Party. Now we go back to Elizabeth, who is in our election headquarters.